Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone here there already. Nice. It's been a big day. Been a big anniversary for me, actually. But good to see you all here. Hello, George, Laney, Barb, Jeannie, of course. How you doing? Hope you all had a good day. I think George and Laney, you must be just starting your day, yeah? So, how are we all doing today? Just waking up to start my day. Hey, John, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay, just go through some of these. And we're off to a good start. G'day, Spanky. How you doing? Good day, all. Cheers. New member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, we've had a pretty big day. I've had a pretty big week, actually, under a lot of rain. But, yeah, it's all getting there. That's good, Laney. Excellent. Very good. So, what have we been up to? What would you like to talk about today? Getting back to basics. Up at 4 a.m. Yeah, very good. In the sun by 6 a.m. Walking by 7 a.m. Good. Yeah, good way to do it. Beat the sun. Beat the sun, and you'll start your day right. And get your body clock right. Get outside, get some sunlight. Set your body clock right. Perfect. Good way to do it. Tell us about the rain. Okay. Well, we had over 300 mil in one night, and it was raining for a couple of days before that. So, yeah, everything's. I mean, it stopped raining today, thankfully. But the driveway and everything down the front yard, it's all underwater still. So, yeah, a bit muddy. And the chickens are having a bit of trouble because I'm going to have to find a way to divert some water around the chicken coop. I might have to lift it off the ground or something. So, yeah, lots of water. Yeah, but I'm getting used to that. Today actually is the anniversary, 15 years anniversary. I can't believe it's been 15 years since the earthquake and tsunami in Japan. It's amazing how time flies, isn't it? I mean, a lot's happened since then, but yeah, it's quite a big day, really. So, down the front, actually, we've got a bit of a waterfall. I have to do some prospecting down there. Might find some gold. No, but it's a bit of a river down there at the moment, so it's all good though. Won't take long, maybe a couple of days, the water will go down. At least everything's green, so the trees needed it, the grass. I've managed to complete the Kilts Health Coach course in 10 days. Wow, well done, lady. Very good. I didn't realize it was such a short course, actually. Well, that's good. Well done. Yeah. So you'll be able to coming on here and giving me some advice then soon, yeah? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Potty Possum. Possum is doing well. He's been hiding up in the potting shed, so he was nice and dry. But the chickens are a little bit muddy and dirty and smelly at the moment, which is it's just part of it. Chickens are kind of hard to keep clean, and unfortunately, there's a lot of water ran through their chook house, so a lot of the soil that was in there has all been washed down the hill. So it's like it's just pit holes and water sitting everywhere at the moment, and it's very smelly. So I'll have to clean that up, and once it dries out a bit, I'll maybe put in a false floor, some pallets or something like that for them. I'll have to think of something to divert the water. So yeah. Yes, that tsunami video was eye-opening. Yeah, well, it's just a short one. Just just a few of the photos I collected while I was over the course of that year. But yeah, it's hard to really picture until you actually see it. So um, and I mean, even for us, like we were in quite a bit of shock actually, really, to see how much damage was done and see how much. I mean, we never we never really expected an earthquake that big for a start. I mean, earthquakes, they don't really last long usually. They like 15 to 30 seconds. And they very rarely get over like 7 magnitude, even in Japan. But this was 9.1 and it lasted like it reached 9.1 multiple times, but it lasted almost 6.5 minutes. So it was extremely long, you know. And we did expect, I mean, did expect some tsunami, but the size of that was absolutely incredible. Of course, sirens and stuff, evacuation sirens and stuff like that. So we all sort of took off, but it's it's really hard to actually visualize something like the amount of what nature can do, until you actually see it for yourself. It's very difficult. And it's not, I mean, not just there, it happens around the world. It happens in different places as well. But, even in America, you get the tornadoes and things like that. It's just really difficult to sort of visualize what kind of damage that nature can actually really, inflict on us. But that was absolutely incredible. That was incredible. Um, yeah. In fact, it was such a shift that night. Actually, when it happened, it was on a Friday, and in the afternoon, because it was 2:46 in the afternoon, and like a couple of hours later, like it was actually coming, because March 11 is usually like it's coming into spring and it's starting to warm up in Japan. But that night, it got so cold again, it started snowing, and it snowed for a couple of days, and it was just like a complete climate shift. It was really weird, but I mean, that's how much pressure was behind that event. Yeah. Josephine, good to see you. Yes, good to see you too. Not sure how much I absorbed information. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that either, Josephine. That's a bit of annoying. It's a bit annoying, isn't it? You have to make sure you click on the window so you can type before you type. Yeah. Yeah, that tsunami was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. There was debris washing up on the shore here in the Yeah, that's right. Um, yeah, it wasn't long after actually either. Like just several months later, it was like washing up on the coast of America, even as far down as some of the Pacific Islands, like near Hawaii and that. So yeah, there was so much debris and so much other stuff. Even Fukushima power plant, which was just like to me, it's crazy to put a nuclear power plant right on the coastline of Japan. They knew the risk, but just and that was as the bird flies about 75 to 80 kilometers just south of us, because we were actually right where the earthquake in Miyagi was actually the prefecture where the earthquake actually hit and got the worst of it, really. So it was, yeah, pretty big event. What was really funny is like, well, it wasn't funny. It was kind of annoying. But like after that, like the Australian embassy came out to like from Tokyo up to Sendai to basically just to evacuate people, and they told us like they kept like calling me and saying like we want you to get on the plane or get on the bus and to Tokyo. And I mean, most of the roads were blocked anyway for a good time for the first few days. But after that, and they started coming up, they wanted us to catch a bus to Tokyo and then fly back to Australia. I was only allowed to take my wife and one bag each, right? But there was no way I was going to go. I told them that there's no way I'm going because my whole life was there. I'd been there 10 years. But like they were only there for like a week, and the whole week they kept like harassing me, telling me like you got to get out and all this stuff, and they kept trying to scare me with the radiation and all this sort of stuff. All the radiation's really high today, you know, you should get out. In the end, when they did leave, like they never once thought to bring out any food or water. You know, the whole time we spent months on bicycles trying to find food and water, like from little shops and stuff that brought stuff out into the car park to sell us. There was no supplies coming because all the ports and the airport in Miyagi were all destroyed. There were no trains or even trucks going up north either because the roads were all under repair and stuff like that. So, but they never thought to bring any food or water out. But eventually, when they did leave on the last day, when they left the Australian embassy, they brought out 2 iodine tablets. I just laughed. I thought, that's just crazy. And then they tell us, make sure you have a plan to get out because in case things get really bad. I'm like, how much worse could they get, right? As seriously. So it was just it was absolutely useless. And then of course the next year, like in January when I was in Australia, I was diagnosed with the stage 4 cancer, right? And of course we had to move and lost everything because of that. But then several months later, when my wife came over to help me, we needed to get her a permanent residency visa for Australia, like because she's my wife. And because of the earthquake the year before, like in 2011, the Australian embassy staff all moved to Korea. Right? But for my wife to get the visa, she had to apply for the visa from Japan, like the country where she was living, or if she did it inside Australia, we had to pay an extra $1,000 to process the visa inside Australia. And they weren't in Japan, so we couldn't do it there. So we had to do it in Australia anyway. We had no choice. So I thought, like, maybe I should have given them back their iodine tablets or something. Unbelievable. Just, I mean, the bureaucracy here in Australia is absolutely insane. Whereas, in Japan, I got my permanent residency visa. It took me like 3.5 hours total. Like, fill out the paperwork, buy a stamp. It cost $70 Australian. I just went back into immigration and they processed it immediately. And then, like with my wife, it took them like 7 months for him to actually get. And that was rushed through because I was dying. It's unbelievable. Australia is just ridiculous, honestly. When it comes to bureaucracy, that's an absolute joke. But yeah, back on the point. Yeah, it was a big event, and yeah, the debris that was, is. I mean, to see it in person was like, I am still amazed now actually that they've got so much of that cleaned up. Even now, like it's been 15 years. I didn't think that would ever be cleaned up. Honestly, it was such a mess. It was incredible, and what they've rebuilt, it's amazing. Yeah, it was pretty scary, though. Yeah. No, normally, like a normal earthquake doesn't really bother me too much, but yeah, after that, they were pretty scary. I've been doing it all week. Okay. Yeah. Hey, JJ. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Lenny. It is insane. It's bloody nuts. It's yeah. The Australian embassy won't help anyone unless you're a drug dealer. If you get a drug dealer get caught in another country, they'll do everything to help you. So, mm. Yeah, 3 a.m. Carmack, how you doing? 3 a.m. there. Wow. You sure you need some sleep, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Hmm. Have you been to a shop? Geordie got out. Go to orders frozen pizza. Um, gross. Okay, bread, 4 soups, 5 tins of stew. Guess how much? Just over 90 $90. Wow. Oh my God. The lady told Geordie that it's the only place to get food. So you got 2 waters, frozen pizza, and bread, 4 soups, and 5 tins of stew for $90. That sounds bloody expensive, actually. Sounds like the Philippines. Yeah, Philippines had a big one too, didn't they? It was about 9 magnitude, I think it was. A big tsunami. Yeah, yeah. That was. I mean, I think. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really have as good an infrastructure as Japan, but like some of the. I mean, closer to the water in Japan, though, like all the infrastructure was actually dragged out. It's like, kind of like it was on like on a sand base sort of thing. Everything just got pulled out into the ocean. It's at the bottom of the sea at the moment. But even like roads, manholes, sewer systems, like everything that was underground, like some of it got dug in so deep. Some of it was like 5 meters deeper than what it was. In fact, right on the coast, Ishinomaki, um, afterwards, like they would get flooded every time the tide came in after the quake, after the tsunami, after the original waters came down, but until they started filling them back in. It's crazy. Mm. A friend Bridget from Adelaide had visa problems to join her husband. Yeah, here in the UK, we thought that the UK was the problem. It wasn't. It was Aussie red tape. Yeah, Australia is like, I mean, you're buried in red tape. Honestly, like it is for bureaucracy, and red tape here is just absolutely insane. Like it is the worst country for that. Honestly, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I would have been much quicker if I just put my wife on a little dinghy or something, give her a life jacket, and dropped her out in the ocean about 5 kilometers out in the ocean. Yeah, she would have been given the visa. Probably would have been given a house and pension. Would have been much easier. Mm. Yeah, 2 days ago was my anniversary when I crawled out of bed. Excellent, excellent, John. Yeah, and start to reclaim my life after being bedridden 5 years. Yeah, and weeks away from dying. That's awesome, John. Well done, man. Yeah, that's awesome. It's an amazing feeling, isn't it? Yeah, when you're stuck in bed for so long and you finally get up and start moving, it feels like, I don't know. There's nothing else really describes it. It's like you feel like you're getting some of your life back. And I mean, I was excited when I could get up and move to the bathroom myself. And at the time, I was in a studio. It was only 2 steps away. But that was exciting. It was exciting. I could do it by myself without my wife helping me. So, I was excited I could start eating by myself without my wife actually. And then, every step is kind of exciting, and you start walking down the hall or start walking around the block, and then you walk across the street, and all these little things, these little steps that we normally would take for granted, but after being stuck in bed for so long, it feels incredible. So yeah, congratulations, John. Well done, man. 1 year anniversary. That's awesome. And to do some fishing once I get low on food. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, do some fishing's good. And as I'll be waiting on the fridge to open as the food over there. Still same price. Yeah, that sounds pretty expensive. I mean, food's getting expensive everywhere. Like here too, I'm sort of thinking I might have to start doing some fishing, things like that too. But luckily, one good thing is I've got a lot of kangaroos on my property here at the moment. In fact, I can see several of them now, right in, just out my window. So I can get some roos and ducks and stuff like that if it gets too expensive. Yeah, that's awesome, man. It turned out to be medications they were giving me. Yeah, in low magnesium. That they never checked me for. Yeah, medications. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes we need them, and but yeah, they never tell you about the side effects, do they? They never tell you about what they do to your body, and yeah. So a lot of the time, I mean, when I first started out, a lot of the medications were actually to help with the side effects of the first medications, So, and then you get, you get brain fog, you get all sorts of other problems that are associated with the medications that they're giving you anyway. So, yeah. Hey, Bob, how you doing? Seems so nice to be out walking and third day, well done. Third day of walking for about 40 minutes. That's awesome. Without pain and needing to take a break and sit. That's good. I thought I would be lost. I thought I would have lost stamina after weeks of winter. No, life is good. Excellent, Bob. That's good. No, I mean, it does actually take a while for you to lose that stamina, really. Because we're built for that, right? And it really does come back quick once you've done the work originally, and you feel like even if when you've taken time off and you feel like, oh, I've lost all this, all the work that I've already done, sort of thing. It comes back really quickly. It does. It comes back much faster the next time. So, oh, thank you for joining, Bob. I really appreciate that. Good, Bob. Yeah, you're doing well. Doing a bloody great job, actually. You see, I was in considerable rotator cuff pain on Sunday. Yep, evening. I woke up Monday morning and pain gone. Good. You heal quick on carnival. Yeah, you do. You do, absolutely. And 10-second cold shower. 10-second cold shower. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a start, mate. It's a start. Yeah, you do heal much quicker on the carnivore diet, and if a few protocols as well, like a bit of ice, a bit of cold, or breathwork. Everything sort of everything just sort of moves a lot faster. That's really good. So yeah, that is awesome, Bob. Doing really well. Was it still cold walking? Do you still have snow around, Bob? Yeah, good question. You probably would still have some snow, wouldn't you? I mean, it'd still be cold at least anyway. But embrace the cold. Even if you are, even in just going outside for a walk, that can still be considered cold therapy because you're putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. You're getting colder than you're used to. Okay, and that's going to help. So help you to stimulate brown adipose tissue and mitochondria and all that other things that come with cold therapy. So don't be afraid of it. Go out and enjoy the cold. It's all good. It's all good. So excuse me, I'm just rehydrating my copper cup. So it's been a pretty big day exercising. So I just did a couple of substacks actually this week on the power of breathwork, because there's a recent studies came out talking about they're actually incorporating breathwork in treatment for epilepsy. Okay, and also asthma. So it's not a bad read. There's a few links to the studies where you can actually go and read the actual full study for yourself if you want as well. But let me have a look. I'll show you. But I think it's really interesting that they're using breathwork to help with epilepsy, you know. Now, I also did one for libido as well. So because nitric oxide and CO2 are actually very important for your libido, okay, to help all those processes in your bodies. It's not, doesn't just come down to the actual hormones like testosterone, for example. You need, like, there's always something else going on as well, you know. But let me have a look. I'll show you this. So it's quite interesting. And let's see. No. There we go. Share screen. Okay. Can we see this? Let's see. Yep. Can we see this? Yeah. All right. So again, like talking about the Bohr effect. Now, Christian Bohr, he came up with this theory back in 1904, and I mean, it's a very good theory. And as long as you are always mouth breathing or breathing too fast, then you are blowing off too much CO2. And it's CO2 being the signaling molecule for hemoglobin to deliver oxygen to the cells, right? So that's what causes oxidative stress. Now, this has a number of reasons. Like, there's obviously going to be a number of pathways that are going to disrupt that. Okay. So diet is one of those pathways where you disrupt that. It's, for example, carbohydrates and sugar and carbohydrates and so on. They don't produce as much ATP or CO2 or EZ water, right? They're only half as much. So in that sense, there, even if you're eating clean carbs, those carbohydrates are already reducing the CO2 levels in your production, which means that's also going to produce more reactive oxygen species and oxidative stress. Okay, so this is another good reason why fat is so important, because fat produces a lot more, double in fact. Okay, so you know the Bohr effect is actually quite, I think, is just another way of proving that we are lipivores or carnivores, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, so we should have a high fat diet anyway. But this work was actually built on by other scientists throughout the years. Christian Bohr did this in 1904, but he was talking more about the way we breathe rather than diet so much. But the diet works as well. And then we have Yandel Henderson. Now, he built on this as well, and he later used this. I think this was like in the 40s, actually. So building on Bohr's insights in the 20th century, he's a physiologist, and he championed the importance of CO2 as a chief hormone for the entire body, because it's produced by every tissue. Okay, and it's regulating functions like acid-base balance or heart rate and circulation. These are all important. These are all a result of CO2, because CO2 is also a vasodilator. Right? So getting, for your, so obviously like blood volume and everything like that, getting oxygen to your cells and everything as well. But it also is when you have higher CO2 levels, it also brings you into that ventral vagal state. It also helps to control or regulate your nervous system, okay? Because you are getting more oxygen to your cells, for one. You get a more relaxed circulation because of it's also the vasodilator. This is also why nitric oxide is also just as important. Okay, but CO2 is very good for this. So a lot of this really comes down to balancing your CO2 levels. And there's always going to be, unless you're like an elite athlete who's doing like high altitude training and a lot of elite sort of breath holds and things like that, or like exhale breath holds, most people, your blood oxygen levels are always going to be fluctuating between 95 and 100 or 98 or 99%. Okay. So 95, 99%. It's only the regulation of CO2 that goes up and down. All right. And that's what makes all the difference. So, I won't read the whole article for you, but, you can come check that out afterwards as well. But then on top of that, you had Konstantin Buteyko. Now, Buteyko actually developed a breathing method. He actually was using this for asthmatics, and he's been using it for asthma sufferers for a long time. And a lot of this incorporates hypercapnia, breath holds and things like that too. So Buteyko method is quite famous now as well, very popular, made popular by or some recent developers like I forget his name, but I'll think of that later. But Konstantin Buteyko also built on the work of Christian Bohr. So it's all very important. I think it's very interesting stuff, actually. So, and now we have actually seen studies where they actually have proven to use this with asthma sufferers and epilepsy. So I think it's pretty cool. So there you go. So go check that out if you're interested. Yeah, a lot of good links there. Oh, Annabella, good to see you. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah. Okay, Bob, awesome, Barbara. Was it still cold? Ask George. We do heal quicker. Yeah, do heal quicker. I tried that cold shower thing a few times. It was hell. Give it time, mate. Give it time. Yeah. I mean, you may not want to go like just straight cold to start with. Like I said, like ease yourself into it. So like go down like lukewarm and then sort of get colder and colder and colder. And, give yourself a couple of weeks to get used to it, Yeah. I love the cold showers, but I want swimming a lot, and the outdoor shower, cold water only. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I get that. No, the last few days it's been in the 60s, so very nice. Oh, no, that's good. It's kind of spring weather, yeah. Now that I have the 4 a.m. wake up time, I'll be able to do all your lives. Oh, thanks, John. I appreciate that, man. Hello, Annabella. Hello, everyone. Where are we? LGBT for Annabella. Where are we? Had a fight with Hamish, the cat. Yeah. He decided the top I got out to wear today was his new bed. Oh, fair enough. You win. That's good. It's covered in cat fur. Yeah. Well, just make it a bit warmer. Fair enough. Yeah. It's good to have animals around. It really is. They can be a bit of a pain at times, but they are good value. So, yeah. So a couple of good articles up. Well, hopefully good. Yeah. A couple of articles up anyway this week. Yeah. Like a few years ago, my water heater went out, so I had no choice but a few days. But I had to take cold showers. It was refreshing. I take advantage of the water heater now, though. Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. I wish I had known a long time ago how good this was for me, actually, because it was like when it was when we go through the tsunami. And eventually, we didn't have any water connection for quite a while. But when the water did come on, we still didn't have gas for heating or anything like that. So it was just cold, and like it was still snowing, and so it was pretty damn cold. So I couldn't do it at the time. I couldn't bear to get into the cold water. It was like ice, and but I wish I had known back then what I know now. I would have done it no problem. Even when I was going through treatments, like when I was soaking myself in the cold showers, it really just to cool my body down. It wasn't that I didn't understand that cold showers or cold therapy was that good for me at the time. Yeah, it's raining again. Great. But yeah, I mean, like I said, shoulda, woulda, coulda, I guess, and hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it? So, but it's good to know now. The weather feels all over things. Hey there, George. How you doing? Yeah. So, if anyone wants to join too, the link's at the top of the chat there. You're more than welcome to join me. So. Otherwise, we can keep carrying on. Yeah. So, is there anything else we'd like to talk about? Then he's going to change her name. Might change my name to challenge George. Not sure. That should be good enough for me. Yep, why not? Always good. Yeah. Hey, Josephine, good to see you back. We'll be over David on a bit emotional because I've got to move house. Yeah, it sucks moving, eh? Yeah, I hate moving house, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like traveling, but it's always good to have somewhere to come back to, a home to come back to. So, but traveling's fine, like short time travel. But I hate moving. I really do. Packing up all your crap and then trying to unpack everything when you find a place to live. And all good, George. All good, mate. Oh, you got the email yesterday. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. Yeah. Real estate problem in Australia is just out of control at the moment. Really is out of control. It's very challenging moving house. It sucks ass. I hate it. So hopefully I won't have to move again for a little while. Hopefully I won't have to move until hopefully the next move for me will be back to Japan. That would be great. So always like living there actually. As much people always get a real there's a big misconception about living in Japan. I find it much easier to live in Japan. Like you have more freedoms than Australia, okay, especially now. But they're so efficient too. Like anything you need done at the city office or immigration or anything like that, it gets done like straight away. Like they are really quick at that stuff. It can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes because they're really OCD. So like if they have like a list of rules, they can't deviate. They follow those rules no matter what. Like I remember going to a swimming pool in Japan at a gym, and one of the rules was that you have to wear a swimming cap, right? I mean, the reason you have people wear a swimming cap is because they don't want hair getting caught in the filters. And like I shaved my head, but they still made me wear a swimming cap because it's the rules, right? So you have that sort of side of things, which is pretty funny, uh, but you have that side of things. But everything else, like honestly, it's and they pretty much just leave you alone as well. They're very inviting, very inclusive. They love having people join, these different things and that they do and festivals, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. Mm. Take me to Japan. Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I get there, all visitors are welcome. Okay, never ever moving again. Yeah, fair enough. I'd like to make sure I didn't have to as well. Totally understand the benefits of cold shower, especially for somebody older, for building mitochondria. Yeah, I really want to add this protocol. It's easier during the winter. I just stand outside. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have like a cold shower or cold or ice bath or anything like that. Just being outside, if it's like cold enough, just do like 10 minutes, shorts and t-shirt, first thing in the morning. And that's cold enough. In a cold room for say several hours. But the studies that I cited a little while ago about activating brown adipose tissue, they had people in a room like at 24 degrees for a week, right? And that actually activated their brown adipose tissue, and it actually inhibited, like, these were cancer patients, and it inhibited the growth of their tumors, right? And then they had another one at there's a 14 degrees for 24 hours, and it did exactly the same. It actually was more potent. But doing these things on a regular basis is much more effective, right? Rather than just doing it every now and then. That's why I think it's good to have a routine where you do it at least 3 or 4 times a week. But I mean, for myself, I like to stick when I get into a routine. I like to do it every day, because otherwise I get distracted, and then it might be a few days, But it doesn't have to be that regimental either. Oh, we all love you too, Annabella. Yeah, you're a sweetheart. I should check the water line as it's dark. As it's dark. That was quick. Yeah. I'm too sore maybe before bed. Need to relax. Yeah, gotta have that relaxation time. Somebody told me Australia has sent troops to the Middle East. Can you deny or confirm? I haven't heard that, mate. I don't think so at the moment. So, in fact, I think we'd probably be one of the last people to sort of get involved into that at the moment with our so-called leadership. Okay, they're more about protecting the bad guys than anything, rather than freeing the Iranian people. So yeah, I don't think we've sent anyone yet. They might be talking about it, but I don't think anything will come of it, to be honest. We were talking about a Japan meetup with Kilts Tribe last night. We have a Japanese lady coach called Setsuko now. Okay, yeah, that would be great. Like, Japan would be a great place to do it, actually, because all the meat restaurants like yakiniku or shabu shabu, or there's so many places actually that just, I mean, you can get meat, like you can buy a steak from a vending machine, like literally, like they're all over the place. Get a frozen steak from a vending machine, right? Meat, I mean, if it can be meat can be expensive in Japan if you buy it from a supermarket. Um, but generally speaking, like if you go to a restaurant, it's dead cheap. Like so many is like dead cheap. Um, shabu shabu restaurants are usually really cheap. Like the one in Sendai where I usually go to, it's like $20 for 5 hours, and like that's all you can eat, like buffet meat. Yakiniku is great because there's like barbecue on each table, and shabu shabu is pretty much like that, but you do it in water, like boiling water, in just like thin strips of meat. But yeah, I think Japan would be a great place to do that. Yeah. Yeah, like wait till I've moved back to Japan, and we'll set something up for sure. George told me to visit DC when he moves back to for sure. So definitely got to visit me in Japan, guys. Yeah. I'll show you all around. I'll show you around Tokyo, and we'll take you up north to Sendai where I live, and show you. I can show you all kinds of things actually. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. The coastline up there. When it's not being destroyed by earthquakes and that, it's such a beautiful, really pretty coastline. And there's a little town called Matsushima that has a big harbor, like a big bay. There's like 1,000 islands in this bay, right? And just absolutely stunning place. Incredible. Very mountainous, and lots of great shrines and temples to visit. Good festivals. Summer's actually, it doesn't matter which season you go, you have there's always these different festivals to go to and visit. But summer has like fireworks festivals every weekend. It's pretty exciting actually. So I'm getting rid of the Gemma Lawson cookbooks. Okay, yeah. I don't cook cakes, etc. anymore. Oh, that's good. I feel sentimental about it, but I'm never going back to eating carbs. Yeah, I understand that, Annabelle. You don't want to eat any of that crap. I don't like throwing out books. I'll usually give them to someone. Even that, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to let go of things, isn't it? But one of the actually, I suppose it's just common sense though too. Is like one of the practices of like some of the philosophy behind the Shaolin Temple course that I'm doing at the moment this year is learning to let go of things, right? And I've found that kind of quite profound, because when you let go of things and you actually do feel lighter. You feel, because when we have, the more stuff we have, the more weighed down we feel, like emotionally, because we're always worried about the stuff that we have. We always want to make sure that it's well looked after and stuff like that, So I tend to look at things now as, if I'm not using it, do I really need it? And if I get rid of it, I'm going to feel a bit lighter, because I can now travel. I can now sort of move a bit lighter too. So, but it's kind of a difficult thing to let go of things. For now, all good. I hope Geordie can get back. Yeah, it sucks if you can't. It's a bit. It's been so quiet all day. Oh, right. Is it trapped by water? Is it? Maybe. Yeah, but yeah, don't want to follow anymore. Yeah, gonna get rid of the carbs. You've created a bunch today and yesterday. Oh, that's sad. I hope you feel. I know you're going through a lot of pain, and it's kind of difficult. And when you get told you have to leave, you have to find a new place to live. It's very stressful. It's incredibly stressful, in fact, because you where do you go? You know, you got to, oh shit, I've got to find a place to live, sort of thing. Especially here in Australia, it's crazy. So yeah, just we're all with you though, Annabella Lee. If you need to vent, just let her vent. Yeah, yeah, it's a good idea too. Yeah. Good Annabelle, apart from losing my main car key. Okay, I have no idea where it is. I hate that. I hate losing the keys. You know, you turn the house upside down looking for the damn things, and then, but then eventually it just shows up anyway. Yeah. Mm. Let's see. Did you check the bin? It is Laney. It's a beautiful place. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult to describe actually, but maybe I'll take some more photos and I'll put some more photos on the computer so I can show you sometime. But it really is a fantastic place. Um, there's things that I like about Japan. Yeah, some of the things like because they still very much embrace like their culture, and they have like these temples and shrines and um, these like really eclectic taste in like you could be walking down this like huge shopping mall sort of street, like, and there's buildings all like shopping buildings, all like big department stores and everything like that. And you're walking down this street, um, and then all of a sudden, like you'll see this narrow laneway where you can barely fit two people sideways, right? And then you walk down there, it's like this really eclectic sort of group of tiny little shops with all kinds of different things. Like you would, I mean, if you blinked, you would just walk straight past it. And that sort of stuff is like everywhere. It's really cool. Um, and you could be on the street just walking past and like all these big, apartment buildings and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you find this huge stairways or huge staircase, and it goes up this mountain. It's like full of trees, and a shrine or temple will be there. But in places like Matsushima, though, it's quite famous for like oysters, and they have like an oyster festival every year. They actually farm oysters there in the harbor, and there's a lot of big, like a lot of it's built on big, giant rocks, giant boulders and things like that. If you got little houses built on these peaks, it sort of looks out over the bay, and behind it will be like they've actually carved out um, little caves where the fishermen used to use for like to store their nets and things like that. And there'd be like some of it would have little Buddhist statues and all sorts of little different statues carved out of stone. And then you walk back off the main street, and like the main street's kind of more touristy sort of area now, but they have like one of the best fireworks festivals in the each year as well. It's like it's you have to book like a year in advance to get a hotel there. But they've got this massive temple in the back, like on just set back off the road. It sort of goes up this hill, but it's an absolutely beautiful place, just surrounded by beautiful trees, and yeah, it's a wonderful place, really. It really is. Mm. Oh, you're having roast lamb again tonight. Geez, you're big on the roast lamb at the moment. Yeah. So everyone to Annabelle's place before she has to move because she's got roast lamb. I've got two big bags of clothes to give to charity. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's what I usually do too, because I don't like packing, and so like, how many sets of clothes do you sort of wear really? Um, we sort of collect these sorts of things, but how often we actually wear it? You have to have a garage to get rid of the stuff. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It's really difficult. Especially when it's just no notice. It's difficult when you're not planning to do these things. That was, I mean, that was so hard for us when in 2012 in January, because I was stuck here in Australia, and I was stuck in a hospital bed, and my wife had to go back and get rid of our house, a car, businesses, her job, everything there, that we built in, like in 10-year period. And I mean, zero notice. It's really stressful, really very, very stressful. Yeah, been. I think the vegans stole it. Yeah, fair enough. My mate in the army used to say, "Travel light and travel first class." Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Abs is like that too. Speaking to Dr. Abs every now and then. I mean, he's traveling, like he travels all over the world, right? And very, quite often. I don't know, he's not home very much. But he said to me once, he's got like 1 or 2 bags of clothes, and that's about it. That's all he's got. He doesn't have much furniture in his apartment, and just because he's never really there much, so he doesn't use much. So travel light. Yeah. I think you sort of like emotionally, you've got less to worry about too. You don't need to cling on to things, because everything in life is temporary, right? It doesn't matter what, even if you buy a home or car, all these things are temporary. It's the same as with life, everything that we have is just passing through our experience. So this cup is not going to last the rest of my life, sort of thing. So enjoy it while you've got it, but appreciate it when it leaves as well. It's been a shock and uncertainty. Yeah, I completely understand that, Annabella. It's especially, I mean, it's the situation we're in Australia at the moment, and the so-called housing crisis that the politicians have created, and corporations and so on. But it is a shock when people tell you, you just get an email or a phone call and telling you have to leave, and then you sort of, you kind of lost. You kind of feel lost. Where do I go now? What do I do? Sort of thing. So I really feel for you, Annabella, because it's a shitty situation, honestly. I wish I was there. Good finding things. People. Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Annabella. Love you guys so much. Yeah, we all love you too, Annabella. April 1st, I'll be starting a 20-day water fast. Oh, cool. Okay. I do them every year, okay, for cancer prevention. In your research, what do you think is the best cancer prevention? Well, I mean, diet is obviously like what you put into your body is really important. Also, what you wear, I believe in, because when you wear man-made clothes, a lot of, especially polyester, for example, is all made from recycled plastics and so on. And you get, when they break down, you're actually absorbing those microplastics into your body. And I mean, apart from the fact that they're microplastics and they cause a lot of, trouble, they get into the bloodstream and get into the brain and everything like that as well. But, full of xenoestrogens as well. There's a number of studies that came, like even from as far back as the 90s, there were a couple of studies. One was done in Egypt, one was done in America. One in America was done on dogs, where they wore polyester underwear, right? And men wore polyester underwear in the study in Egypt. And over time, they had testicular shrinkage, they had low testosterone, they had a low libido, and all sorts of things going on because of that. It's also very strong xenoestrogens. Now, apart from that, because they have low testosterone and because they're estrogen, like the xenoestrogens are so strong, it's going to affect their EPO production and their blood cell production, right? So there's that. I mean, then you got seed oils. Okay, so eliminating seed oils is, I think, one of the most important things as well. But apart from diet and what you wear, lifestyle factors, I would say breathwork and ice baths. Okay, two of the most important. Next to those two, next to diet, for example. I mean, my top three have always been like carnivore diet, ice baths, and breath work. But grounding is also very important, for circulation. You also get mitochondrial charging. Um, but ice baths, you produce more fresh, healthy, brand new mitochondria, right? So that's one of the great things. Um, Plus, you can still, even if you do eat some carbs, even if they're clean carbs, activating brown adipose tissue takes up blood glucose levels from your blood extremely fast, like faster than cancer cells can take it up. So you can actually still starve cancer cells with cold therapy, because of activating the brown adipose tissue. So there's never any one thing, right? There's never going to be. I mean, you need to do. You're always going to need more than just one thing. But those three are my top. Okay, the breath work and ice baths and carnivore diet. Okay, like a lipivore diet, a high fat diet. So yeah, and of course, other things come into play as well. Like sunlight is also very important, of course. Yeah, grounding and so on. The positive thing is I'm so much healthier compared to the last move. Yes. Yeah. So that, I mean, this thing that's going to be much easier for you anyway, isn't it? So that's a positive. That's good, Annabella. I'm listening while driving. Hello, me, Louise. How you doing? Good to see you. Yep. I avoid the news as far as I possibly can. It's almost just speculation. Yeah, well, it is. Well, I mean, at best, it's speculation. Usually, depending on where you get it from, it's propaganda, just straight out lies. So, war, climate change. Yeah, the experts just like the sound of their own voices utter bollocks. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna tell you without because I have a theory about what's going to happen. Okay, this year, because there's a lot going on. But I think one way for you to get an idea is to watch the movie Some of All Fears. Okay. Um, I think that should give you some idea of how all of this is going on right now is going to end. So watch Some of All Fears. Okay. I usually do 320-day. You usually do 320-day fast or not 320-day fast, right? So 320-day fast, April, May, and June. Okay, yep. All right. But my weight's kind of low, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna do that. Not gonna do. Oh, not gonna do that many. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I mean, if you got low weight, I don't think you really. I mean, fasting is good. Don't get me wrong. Like fasting does have a lot of benefits, right? Um, but I don't fast very often. It's not very long either because for a number of reasons, right? All of those same processes, all those same mechanisms that are activated by fasting are also activated by breath work for one, and also activated by cold therapy two, and the carnivore diet is also a fasting mimicking diet. Okay, so do you really need to do that much fasting, right? I mean, if I just don't feel like eating, I won't eat, right? That's pretty much to the extent of my fasting at the moment. In the past, I did do a lot of fasting, especially when I was going through chemo, because I basically just couldn't eat. So for the first week at least, I was fasted after treatment. But and it's great to do a fast. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. You feel light. You feel leaner. You feel comfortable. Everything feels good. Um, but if I don't really think you need to push yourself to do that so much. Because if you're doing these other things as well, you're getting the same benefit. So you're sort of like doing everything over and over again. So, but I mean, each to their own as well. Yeah, I don't like oysters. Yeah, me either. I think it looks like something you sort of blow out your nose, really. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 20-day fasting. Yeah, yeah. Never eaten oysters. I mean, the oysters they collect, actually, the oysters they grow in Japan, like in Matsushima anyway, like they're quite big, like they're like like this size, right? Kind of like a small steak, really. Yeah, but very slimy little suckers. They're kind of like, ugh, yeah. They're like they love. I mean, like Japanese, they literally like they eat anything that's ever had a parent, and it's like they eat a lot of stuff that I can't eat. I can't sort of bring myself to eat eel much. Um, yeah, mm. But yeah, well, you move back now. Then we can visit next year. I would love to, mate. I would love to. Yeah, about 22. Do you have to take anything like electrolytes? Um, when fasting. Yeah, that's a good question. John? Do you take electrolytes when you are fasting? Or do you just use like salt water? Use like a good mineral water? Yeah. Um, how do you replace your minerals? When I fast, I still if I do like if I do a dry fast, for example, it's only usually like yeah up to about 30 hours or so. Depends. Some days I've done 2 days dry fasting. That feels quite good. Um, but generally speaking, if I do a fast, like it's the most I'll do is between 3 and 5 days, and I'll still drink the water that I drink is filtered, treated, and remineralized, so it still has iodine and a good mineral salt in it. So I get my electrolytes still. Raw, be strong. You're a lioness. Yeah. If they could have given me 6 months, yeah, it would take the pressure off and mentally prepare you. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. 2 months, Jesus, that's not fast, not long. 2 months to move. I want to get as much done as in 1 month. Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you want to get it done as fast as possible, don't you? But 2 months is really not much time to find a place to live here at the moment. So, mm. Still in pain since the cortisone injection. Yeah, hasn't helped either. Yeah, I mean it's the crap they give us. Unbelievable, really. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if I moved to America or Europe. Yeah, yeah, America would be a good place to go. I think for me at the moment, unless you go to Poland, Poland would be a good place to go. Yeah. Mm. A minimalist approach is liberating. Yes, it is definitely. That includes what we watch. Yep, definitely. Everything that we ingest, really. Like, and that's what we listen to, what we watch, as well as what we eat. So, hanging out with our mates on YouTube is far healthier than tuning in for the mainstream media. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'd look into doing cold sheet treatments. Yeah, where you induce a major fever. Yeah, I've heard of that, Annabella. I've heard of a few people do that, but it's quite. Um, I know there might be some good benefit. I mean, I've heard of the benefits of it, but it's quite a stressor for your body as well. So quite a stressor. But actually, I might look into a little bit more. Actually, I might do a bit of research on that. So I'll write that down just in case because I might forget. So, um, yeah, cold sheet treatments. Yeah. Now, when it comes to cold therapy, it's the same. I suppose it's the same with heat therapy. Like if you're in a sauna, right? It's much healthier for you to do these things on a regular basis for a shorter period, because otherwise you overstress your mitochondria. And so the longer you're in the ice, for example, the more recovery you need for your mitochondria to sort of recuperate. So it's a good idea to do just like short bursts, even if you do like a sauna, like 5 to 10 minutes, is all you need. And same with ice bath, like or cold shower, 5 to 10 minutes is really the maximum that you need. You don't need to be sitting there for a long time, you know. Yeah, cold sheet treatments. Cold sheet treatments. Um, Kellogg's engineered his cereal, to damage our hormones, so he wouldn't want to participate in the bedroom Olympics, solo or doubles, which is a sin and makes you blind, according to Zoe Harker. I love Zoe Harker, mate. She's absolutely brilliant, that girl, and I mean she's lovely to talk to too. Like she's really good. Very generous with the time as well when you need it. She does a great. Actually, she does a great. She has a great Substack as well. She does great articles. She's a machine. Actually, she gets through that stuff. But yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, that was the whole idea behind Kellogg's cereals. Like, it was to destroy our hormones and libido, and it's just it's disgusting. Honestly, it really is just disgusting what we've been faced with the last couple of 100 years, probably longer, really. The way these people think that they have the right to determine where the rest of us go, it's despicable. I want to start watching comedies more often. Yeah, like English comedies. I think like things like that are good for your soul. Yeah, that's right. Things without, things that are silly and have no political agenda or message in them. Like actually, I saw a good the other day. I watched an old Danny Kaye movie. Actually, it's called. It was pretty funny. It was called Wonder Man. Yeah, Wonder Man. The old Danny Kaye movie. That was really good. Yeah, like old movies like that. They don't have the BS political agenda behind them. Or any stupid messages that you know. I like that. Yeah, she's home. That's good, Josephine. Well done. That's good. Uh, your heart can get sick if you fast too much. Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. You can always overdo these things. I mean, short term, like these things can be very healthy, but yeah, you can always overdo these things. When it gets to like chronic levels, then you're going into starvation. So, Jonathan, good to see you, man. How you doing? How's everything going with you, brother? Cody Johnson. Exercise is a more potent activator for AMPK. Yep, enzymes than fasting per unit of time. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Exercise is, yeah, I didn't even think about that before, but yeah, exercise is a great stimulant for many of the same benefits. Many of the same benefits as fasting. You also get, I mean, especially from high impact, um, you also get like blood cell stem cell stimulation as well. You produce more testosterone and EPO and blood cells in general. So these are great stimulants. So exercise, yeah, I agree, 100%. Actually, I didn't even think about that really. I mean, to be honest, like exercise is just, it sort of goes without being mentioned, really, doesn't it? But well, for me anyway. But yeah, I suppose I should include that my top four. Okay, exercise would be the next one because you like cold therapy, diet, breath work, of course, and then exercise. Like especially strength training is very good, and you know, and to each their own. Whatever the exercise that you are doing, I like doing a multitude of different things. Um, yeah, so get into it if you can. You know. I don't do fasting. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I think probably for your situation, Laney, it's probably not a good idea because you're very light. And um, I mean, if you're on a clean carnivore diet, honestly, again, really don't need to fast. It is a fasting mimicking diet anyway. So, yeah. How are you guys? Won't say much today. I'm quite manic. Fair enough, mate. But I'm here with friends. Yep. Always here with friends, my man. Always. Fat fasting, where you only eat fat, could be therapeutic. Yes, that's true. Maybe once a week, have cream, egg yolks, fat trimmings. Yeah, yeah, this can help a lot too. Yeah. Um, but again, like it's not fasting if you're eating, right? If anything, if you're eating anything, it's really not fasting. But I mean, but I get what you're saying. Like, just take one day where you just eating a high fat, like just a fat sort of have a fat day, you know? Yeah, yeah. Zoe's speeches are hilarious. Yeah, she's very good. Yeah, she's a lot of fun actually. Great sense of humor. Uh, Try it. What about fiber? And should we be vegan? Yeah, I've seen those ones. They're good. Very good, actually. Mm. Need to move house. Got the news yesterday. Hopefully, I'll find a nice home. Yep. Hi, Jonathan. Ew. Yeah, no way. Yuck. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like eel though is actually quite meaty and quite fatty too. Actually, so probably a pretty good pretty good sort of meat. Um, but to be honest, like when you eat eel in Japan, like they have so many sauces and stuff on it. Like I just don't think it's gonna be really worth much anyway. But yeah, it's kind of the idea of eating it is this slimy sort of eel sort of thing. I still sort of can't bring myself to do that. I think I'm open to trying snails with butter and garlic if someone cooked it for me. Fair enough. Fair enough. I hear that they sort of taste like kind of the texture is kind of rubbery, but yeah, I don't think I would eat snails either. And the snails and garlic butter are good. Okay, you like them, Laney? Okay. Hmm. I'll stick to oysters. Yeah, pretty late. Fair enough. Um, Fingers crossed. My friends are praying. Yes, we're praying for you, Annabella. Frog's legs are nice as well. Oh, okay. That seems like a lot of work for very little reward. Like these tiny little frog drumsticks. You know, like a lot of these foods came out of like born out of necessity, right? Because peasants, us the plebs, we couldn't afford anything like rabbits or ruminant meat. So the French started eating snails because basically because they couldn't afford meat, real meat. And it's the same with like in Japan, they started eating a lot of all these different things like eel and they even eat like grasshoppers and crickets and things like that, like a snack sort of thing sometimes, depending on where you go. It was kind of one of the favorite snacks in Ishinomaki. Um, so a lot of these foods are just sort of born out of sheer desperation because they couldn't afford real meat, like ruminant animal sort of meat. Um, but now, like now it's like a delicacy. It's crazy. Yeah. They don't like it when we find a way to survive, really, do they? Yeah. Long haul flights are horrible. Yeah, they are. When you're too fat for the seat. Yep. I think when you're too fat for anything, it's a horrible existence. Being stuck in a chair, being stuck in a bed, or just not being able to move properly. Like your mobility is drastically restricted. When you are obese. So I think it's a horrible existence. I mean, Lenny's so skinny now that we could share a seat. Yeah, it's good. Carnivore, fat fueled freedom. Yeah, it is, and it is really is big. I don't fit in the seats. Yeah, I have to hunch forward with my arms by my feet. Oh God, to fit in the seats that actually have the extra room. Yeah. Actually, yeah, like I'm the same. Actually, I'm too broad across the shoulders for economy class, like especially on Jetstar. Like they got really small, narrow in the economy class. So yeah, yeah. Depending on who you're flying with and what class you're in, but yeah, if you're back in the back of the plane with the plebs, those seats are damn small, and the leg room is very minimal. Mm. Sleep very deeply after eating lamb. Oh, that's good. I think it's like I do too. Actually, I think the fat profile for lamb is so good. It's so satiating. So you feel. I think you sleep better when you're satiated like that. So Nathan Smith, good of you to join me, ain't? How you doing? You might find it to be a blessing in disguise. Yes, that's a good. That is usually what happens actually. So that's yeah, good positive message there. Um, yeah, I mean, we always hate getting out of our comfort zone. We always do. And certainly if you've been living in a place for a while, we get very comfortable. We start to relax, and then something like that happens. So it's very uncomfortable and stressful. But yeah, you're right. You might find that you end up where you're meant to be. And it could be an exciting move for you. You know, and that's I think the universe has sometimes kind of very violent ways, but it always has unusual way of bringing you to where you are supposed to be. Um, that's just the way it is, I guess. But sometimes it turns out to be a good thing. So um, it can have a tumor with the cold sheet treatment. Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't think I could ever do it again. Feel free to contact me if you want more information. Thank you, Annabelle. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll look into a bit more. I mean, I have heard of. This seems like a bit of a. It does seem very extreme, like a quite a big stressor for your body, and I certainly think it would take some time to recover from as well. Um, and maybe probably wouldn't want to do that with treatments, while going through chemotherapy. But yeah, I imagine there would be some benefit to it, um, because you're sort of resetting your body, and I mean that's kind of like hormetic stresses do for you, that you're resetting your nervous system and you're resetting your body, your metabolism as well. That's one of the benefits of these like saunas and cold therapy and all these other things that we do. So yeah, I imagine it'd just be like one intense, like high intensity sort of version of that. Yeah, make my own electrolytes. Okay, yep. 3 1 liter per day. Okay, up to 4. But also do that normally. Okay, yeah. So you just keep the same routine with your electrolytes and water. That's good. Yeah. Actually, one thing I do like about fasting is that you while you're fasting, you have so much extra time. It feels like you have a whole extra day because you're just not spending any time cooking or eating or preparing food and stuff. I love that. So mm, yeah, yeah. Kellogg's was a bit yucky. Yeah, all the all the enemas. Yeah, he was definitely he was a head case. He was a real mental head case. That guy, like he was insane. And unfortunately, like most of the people that have a lot of influence in our world are completely bloody insane. Okay, yeah, have cornflakes and become infertile. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I watched the Ripping Yarns comedy a few days ago. Cool. Yeah. Um, oh yeah, Father Ted. Yeah, that's not a bad old show. Father Ted, one of my favorite shows ever. Yeah. Love black and white and romantic movies. So I like the old black and whites. One of my favorites is Sabrina. Actually, Sabrina and Roman Holiday. They're both good movies. Really good movies, actually. Yeah, I enjoy those old ones. The Vicar of Dibley. Yeah, it's hysterical. Yeah, actually, it's not bad. Not bad. But again, like I try to avoid anything that's got sort of any kind of stupid bloody message attached to it. Um, yeah, exercise triggers fast and strong mitophagy. That's right. Activates via energy, stress, and PK. Yep. Mitochondrial damage, splitting, and proteins like PIK1, Parkin, or BNIP3 and NIX. There you go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, fasting it does have its benefits, but like when you add like exercise, carnivore diet, um, breath work, and ice bath, like cold therapy, I really don't see any. Just zero need for it. Um, but I mean, if you're not hungry either, it's good too. But I know, if you're not doing all that stuff too, though, like fasting will help a lot. Actually, I like the IT crowd as well. Like the It crowd. Is that a movie? I don't know that one. Um, yeah, this starts during or right after exercise. Yeah, with markers rising within hours, often peaking 12 hours after high intensity bouts. Yeah, even one session powerfully boosts mitophagy in muscle cells, etc. Yeah, cool. There you go. Ask the expert. Yeah, yeah, we get that. Yeah, I mean, you can only type so much into one little comment section. I mean, it's always a lot to it, but I get that, like, because sometimes you want to do that. You want to like explain like these processes that happen, but it's like trying to squeeze it all into that little comment. It's like, and then someone's going to nail you. It's like, oh, but what about this? What about this? It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I need to start dry brushing. It's supposed to be very good for you. Dry brushing. Okay. That's I'm not sure what that is actually. I mean, my version of dry brushing is like when I'm making the miniatures, I use dry brushing with paint. 50 minutes until the lamb is cooked. Oh, that sounds good. Quick, everyone. You have to hurry to get over there. But It Crowd is awesome too. Okay, yeah. Graham Lennon is very funny. No coincidence he's been in a bit of bother lately. Okay, I'll have to check that out. The It Crowd. All right. Last night I went to sleep listening to Marcus Aurelius. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that was pretty soothing. Yeah, it's really good to things like that can really help you, not just to help you sleep, but mentally, you're sort of rewiring yourself and reprogramming yourself as well. So it's really good to listen to positive. Yeah, this is why I like philosophy. Actually, I really like all these different philosophies and philosophers. That it gives you a better outlook on life, on every situation. Because if you, I mean, everyone has a good philosophy about different things, obviously, but some of the more famous ones and some of the bigger ones, there's usually something for your situation. You sort of take a step back and you sort of look at it differently. So listening to that, I think, can really help you to sort of get your head around some certain things. Getting into that sort of stuff really helped me a lot. Getting into different philosophies while I was going through treatment, and especially like not long after losing everything that I had built up, and then trying to come to terms with the fact that I might be dead next week, sort of thing. That sort of thing really helped me emotionally as well as and mentally. So it's a good thing to do. Listen to things like that. Some positive, practical philosophies from different 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 kinds of backgrounds. Oh, I'm glad, Annabelle. I'm glad we cheered you up a bit. That's good. You're right, David. It's not a fast. You'd probably get high ketones from the fact that that's right. You do. And I mean, you get this is another thing too. When you fast, okay, you start. Because I mean, there's a number of good reasons. Like you stimulate testosterone, so you stimulate a little bit of EPO and then stem cell production and everything like that. You also, which I mean, again, you get the same benefit from like cold therapy or breathwork or exercise or carnivore diet, right? But then you get there's I know autophagy everyone keeps talking about autophagy. Again, those other things do the same thing as well, and they will do it at a faster pace. So this is like doing a little bit of everything on a regular basis is going to make all those metabolic processes are going to happen a lot faster. Okay. So doing a little bit of fasting is great. Do a little bit of breath work, a little bit of cold therapy, a little, and of course your carnivore diet, proper diet. Everything, all of that will just speed up a lot faster than you could imagine, really. So this is why I would say, like, it's more than just about nutrition. It's the whole scope of the lifestyle habits and stuff like that as well. So yeah, ketones, that's what I was think about as well. You produce more ketones from obviously when you're on a high fat diet, but you you stimulate the production more with breath work also, and with cold therapy as well. And yes, you do stimulate it with fasting. Okay, heat therapy also, sauna, will also stimulate the ketone production and circulation as well. So if you're doing all that stuff anyway, there's really, I don't see that's really necessary to do a lot of fasting, especially if you already have a quite small. I mean, if you're obese, then yeah, you might speed things up, and you might want to. I mean, it's not going to hurt to do some fasting. But if not, then probably really don't need to. No, I feel sorry to Graham when he got arrested. Okay, TV show. I like eels, especially fried in butter or smoked. Okay, fair enough. I haven't. I mean, I haven't actually tried different recipes, but the ones like when you get them in Japan, like they smother them in a barbecue sauce sort of thing, and they cook them over the fire sort of thing. So it depends on where you are, though. They each have each state sort of has all these different recipes and stuff like that they eat. I remember eating some food in. Actually, I remember eating some food in Fukushima once. There was this white little shrimp thing that it looked like rice. That I thought it was rice actually, but I ate it, and it was really powerful seafood taste, and I was almost gagging. But I didn't want to throw up or spit it out because I didn't want to insult these people. But yeah, it was funny. I would try iguana if I don't have to cook it. Yeah, I agree. Well, here in Australia, we got the big ones, like the big goannas. Maybe get Rick over here to cook it in, give us heart attack goanna or something. I would definitely try that. They say the meat sort of tastes like chicken because it's kind of like it's a white meat and very lean sort of white meat. But I think there's lizards will have a lot of fat in the tail, maybe. So I'm not sure. You deal with them and cook them. Yeah, you deal with them and cook them, George. Yeah. Slippery little suckers. Hey, Brad, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining us. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing all right. Yep, doing well. Yeah, I love the Vika too. Yeah, it never stops being funny. Yeah, she's pretty funny, that comedian. Yeah. I would try crickets only out of curiosity. Yeah, I mean when they they've kind of when I went to a bar. This was many years ago. I went to a bar in Ishinomaki, and they kind of in an English pub, you have a bowl of peanuts on the counter, right? But they actually had a bowl of crickets, and they were deep fried, and they're sort of glazed in honey, right? So it's kind of like a sweet, kind of like a honey peanut sort of thing, and that's pretty much what they taste like. It's pretty similar to peanuts, really. Extremely crunchy though, extremely crunchy. Yeah, but I didn't like them actually. I wasn't fond of them. So yeah. I love the quote. Yeah, it's a good movie. When we travel, we will have to induce maximum autophagy for about 3 months to fit comfortably. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, either that or just upgrade the business class. I think we have to save a bit of coin. Yeah, because I mean they're shocking. How small the seats are in economy classes. They're about they're so narrow. They sort of cut off your shoulders, and you have to try not to squeeze into the person next to you, sort of thing. It's a shocker. Mm. Saving the lamb bones for broth. Oh, that's always good. Yeah, yeah. Crickets are dry and boring. Yes, they are. And dull food. Yeah, they're not. They're not. They're not something we should be eating. Right? We're not. We're not insect eaters. Yeah, not even. Yeah, not even in small amounts. Really, I'll eat anything once, twice if I like it. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean it's good to try things. Especially when you're traveling, like you go to different countries. It's I think it's important to at least try something different, which is, I mean, I've always been kind of fussy eater, especially growing up, and so it was kind of difficult for me to sort of push myself to do that in Japan. um yeah, so yeah, they eat some crazy stuff though. Stuff that I still can't get my head around, actually. Yeah, cry laughing at the one when she disappears into the deep puddle. Is it the Diddley? Yeah. Um, I'm sure. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you're gonna find a. I'm sure you're gonna find that it work out for the best, Annabella. Okay. We'll keep praying for you as well. Yeah. I mean, every time I've moved, I've found, wasn't always better, but it was always different, and it was still a good place. So I'd still try one. Yeah. They're very crunchy, very crunchy. Yeah, if I had to mention an equivalent, I'd say honey puff cereal. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, scorpions though. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, joke at the end always brilliant. Um, yeah, yeah, I know Vicar Dibley. They always close with a joke, don't they? So it's always quite funny. Is the other girl that I think she was Hugh Grant's sister in Four Weddings and a Funeral, wasn't she? She was quite funny. Yeah. We had blankets over me. It was full of sweat. Yeah, yeah, full of block sweat. Yeah, really awful toxins. I was very ill with chronic fatigue syndrome. Yeah, yeah, that sounds very much like you know the tribes used to have like sweat lodge sort of treatment, right? You go into like a tent, they've had the fire going, and they treat it like a very like a sweat lodge, and they use breath work to induce different conscious states in the nervous system, and and like they sort of they go through these treatments. They do this for hours, right? And they sweat and bring on fevers and stuff like that. So to me, it sounds very much like a similar sort of thing, or at least maybe the inspiration for it, perhaps. But many tribes around the world have used things like that to sort of as a medicine, to reset the body and sort of exercise demons, sort of thing, like, or just illnesses anyway. Yeah, yeah. um, Yeah, the cold treatment, you need certain herbs in case you feel faint. Okay, the cold sheet treatment, you need certain herbs. Okay. It'd probably be good to have electrolytes, I imagine, to stop you feeling dizzy and faint. Yeah. Um, or that might be even part of it too. Thanks, David, for your video this morning. I didn't comment because I was lost for words, but we'll watch you again tomorrow. Oh, very welcome, Brad. Yeah, very welcome. I'm glad you watched it. And I'm really thankful for anyone that watches it. I mean, I was checking the reach on like YouTube, just not showing people these videos that I put up recently anyway. So um I mean, it's really just a tribute to remember the things that the day and the people that had friends that I lost and so on. But you know, it's quite a I don't know. It was one of those life-changing moments. It's one of those lessons that I learned, that your whole life, like your whole world, can change in a matter of minutes, right? And sometimes it takes many years to sort of recover, or sort of get past those changes, you know. So like change can be very violent sometimes. So, but it's one of those things, you know. My mindset has changed so much that when things go wrong, I actively go on a mental search for the unintended beneficial consequences. Yeah. The joys of having Robert Kiltz as a mentor and friend. Yeah, Kiltz is like that, isn't he? He's very positive, and I mean, he does a lot of reading of. He's quite inspiring, actually. His life story. I really like Robert Kiltz, actually. He's a brilliant guy, and yeah, you think like from where he came from to where he is. He's really cool, really cool. So, I mean, apart from the carnivore diet and that sort of stuff, he's just an interesting person, you know. Yeah, I think so too. Sabrina's a lovely movie. Yeah, I like that actually. And Roman Holiday is also a good one. It's a really sad ending though, Roman Holiday, but yeah, both good movies. Very good. Oh, you'll like Sabrina if you like old movies. Yeah, actually, another good old movie I like is We Are No Angels. Actually, that's a good movie. Hang on a second. If you like old comedy movies, this one's a good one. Okay, it's called We Are No Angels. All right, very funny movie. Humphrey Bogart, Aldo Ray, and Peter Ustinov. Okay, I really like Peter Ustinov. Actually, he's funny. But yeah, that's a very funny movie. Actually, I really recommend that one. We Are No Angels. All right. I think you'll get a laugh out of that one. It's pronounced it, not a silly sitcom. Okay. Yep. Yeah. It's using a brush on your skin. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. It's to move your lymph. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Off, John. Take care, everybody. I need to get ready for my walk. No worries, mate. Yeah. Have a good walk. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Yeah. You fasted 23 hours now. Well done. Good job. Have a copper brush. It's great for headaches. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Green light. Green light is also very good for headaches and pain. So like green light therapy is actually starting to sort of take off right now. So you can get, I mean, you can even get like green light. These are green light glasses. Okay. I actually use these when I use the red light therapy belt. Okay. So I don't get the red light into my eyes. But red light therapy is actually taking off, and it's quite good for pain relief, especially headaches for most people. So it's something you could also try. Yeah, Jody likes cold showers too, cooking dinner. I'm having a piece of chicken and a few leftover snags. Kids having chicken and rice. Fair enough. Bit of a Actually, I haven't had snakes for a while, but yeah, a bit of a mixed grill sounds good. Leftovers are always good. Hey, Brad. I've been having good weight loss and chomping down on all the yummy meat. Well, that's good, Annabella. That's good. My dad used to love eels. Oh, okay. He loved kidneys and liver too. Hmm, okay. I've never been big on organs actually, but yeah. Mm. My mindset has adapted, adopted 9/11 syndrome for several people. Things went wrong that day and they were late for work. Yeah, I'm grateful for pain and stress. It means I'm still here and alive. Yeah, I agree. Pain lets you know that you're still alive, and I mean, you can't avoid stress, you can manage stress, but I mean, it's recently, like, recent years, everyone keeps carrying on like, oh, I've got to reduce cortisol because they're so obsessed with getting lean, which is just a silly thing to be doing anyway. But um, then it's like, I can't stress. You got to avoid the stress. Like, I mean, cortisol is not a stress hormone, right? It does a lot of other things in our body. In fact, that you need, I mean, without cortisol, you would die. All right. It's like many other things in our body that people keep trying to avoid. And stress is just one of those things too. Like, there's a lot of things, like, for example, in my life that I wish I could have avoided, obviously. But if I had, I wouldn't be here now and I wouldn't be the person that I am now, you know? So all those different experiences that we have in life, the stresses, the pain, everything that we go through, yeah, okay, maybe a lot of it could have been avoided. Um, but what person would that make you then, so everything that we go through is that is what makes us who we are. So I I I mean, there are things that, sure, I mean, everyone has regrets, and everyone has difficulties in life, be it, from different things. But at the end of the day, that's just part of the experience, and that's what makes you who you are, and that's what makes you more resilient and stronger. You know, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. It's pretty true. Yeah. Heart attack emu. Yeah, that sounds good. They're big drumsticks. Yeah, they're huge drumsticks. I want to get some emu eggs. I'd love to try an emu egg, actually. Mm, yeah. Accidentally swallowed a fly as a child, foreshadowing that I'd be carnivore. Yeah, fair enough. Well, we're born carnivores, Never eat free food off a bar. No, no, definitely not. Some people don't wash their hands exactly. Yeah, after going to the bathroom, then stick their dirty hands in the freezer. Yeah, in the freezer bowl, food bowls. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, don't eat nuts that are not still in the shell. For example, well, don't eat nuts anyway. Just don't eat free bar food. It's amazing what people eat these days. Honestly, like, you have a look at. You ever noticed? I don't know if it's just me, but every time I see those, those junk stores, like nothing over $5 sort of thing, and they're full of food. I mean, that should be a clue, shouldn't it? Like, it's a junk store with, like, all this crap that, I mean, some of it's useful, don't get me wrong. Like, I like the 100 yen store in Japan. Like, that's pretty awesome, actually. But anyway, they can, like, it's a junk store and it's selling what people class as food. I mean, doing food, right? Um, They don't think about that. They don't connect that. It's like, to me, it's like, why would you go to a junk store for food? It's crazy. Yeah. I was a fussy eater as a child. I had a lot of tummy issues as a kid. Yeah, I did too. Like, um, I had a lot of kidney issues actually when I was a kid because I was, um, my parents induced me 5 weeks early before before I was meant to be born. And because of that, I was all my organs were underdeveloped. So I was born with jaundice because my kidneys were not fully developed. Same with my liver and everything else, my heart and everything. So I was very sick actually for a long time after that. So um, yeah, but we get past it. Husband hunting right now, so hopefully the next move after will be with a nice guy. Oh, that's good, Annabella. Very good. Good luck. I hope you find a good man. All right. You have to drink 6 to 7 cups of herbal tea in 20 to 30 minutes. Then that would give you a fever, wouldn't it? You use Lobelia herbal tincture and cayenne pepper tincture. Oh, okay, tincture. Yeah, that sounds horrible. I mean, that alone sounds horrible, honestly. Um, let's stick their dirty hands in food bowls. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Bella. Yeah, When Our Angels is brilliant. Yeah, it is. It's a great movie, that one. Yeah, my dad and I would watch it together all the time. Oh, that's good, Annabelle. I really love it. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, 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 yeah. The Man That Sued God with Billy Connolly. Yeah, Billy Connolly is funny. He's a good comedian. Yeah, it's a brilliant film. So funny. That's my move. I'm going to look into buying red light sauna thing. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, those things are getting pretty cheap now. Like you can get like even like a good one like for like $4,000, like a red light sauna with like all made of wood and glass door and everything for like 4 grand. Which is, for what that is, I mean, it's pretty good. And you can even get portable ones now for a couple of $100. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty cheap now. Sometimes I'll eat a kilo of meat. Just depends on my hunger levels. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's a lot of meat actually, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to get fat from it. I mean, your body just really metabolizes that. So it's great. Eat as much as you can. I'm getting a massage on Friday. Oh, that sounds good. um, my acupuncturist is going to have lots of fun inflicting pain on me. Yeah, I used to when I was racing, when I was doing triathlon, when I was in my early 20s. I used to go to this girl in Brisbane. She was a really, really strong massage therapist. Like she had a grip, like the strongest grip I've ever seen on a woman. Like she had a grip like a bear, but like she was so strong. Like I'd be in pain for hours, like the next day. Like it's just like doing a workout and you get that muscle soreness. She was bad. She was really, I mean, really good at massage though. No, that's good. That's good. If you ever get an emu egg, make sure you film it. I will definitely film that. If I get an emu egg, I'll make a like just one big emu omelet sort of thing. I will definitely film that one. Okay. Mm. So actually, that gave me an idea the other day. Actually, I did film. I just got to put it together. But I made a video of some emergency food, because sometimes I do like to stock up on tin food for emergencies, such as like today, like the earthquake and tsunami and that sort of stuff, or and just even flooding, or anything could happen. So I like to stock up and be prepared for these sorts of things. So yesterday I made because it was flooded in. So yesterday I made a omelette with salmon, tin salmon. Okay. Now I don't recommend like tin meats on a if you can get fresh, obviously. Um, but for emergency food, and it does keep for a long time. So I have stocks of tin chicken, tin tuna, and tin salmon. Right, I like to do that just in case, because I want to keep eating meat. So I made a really nice, actually pretty good omelet actually. So I like doing that with salmon or tuna, because a bit of liquid chicken, and like tuna is like the chicken of the sea. So to me, that's pretty tasty. Mm. I've been washing dishes. I don't know what happened, but the cortisol injection has made it hard for me to wash up. Oh, okay. So maybe having trouble standing. Is that it, Annabelle? I need to have some heat on hand. That's tin for an emergency. Yeah, I think it's always good to be prepared. That's another lesson I got from from the earthquake. Um, you don't know what's going to happen, and no, I'm not saying you're going to get hit by an earthquake or a tsunami like I did, but there's all kinds of things that will happen, even a financial collapse, for example. Um, like during the depression, or even after like the first war in Germany, they would pay, their money, their currency was absolutely worthless. They would have a wheelbarrow of money just to buy a loaf of bread, sort of thing. Okay. um like I think it was like before the war, they paid like 1 Deutschmark for a loaf of bread. At the end after the first war, they were paying like 100,000 Deutschmarks for a loaf of bread, right? So it's really good to have, um, even for a short term, to have any kind of supplies at home that you can rely on if you need it. It's not ideal to be eating that all day, like every day, sort of thing, but it will keep the ribs apart, and it's certainly healthier than going without, or finding something else, scrounging around. After doing, I was doing that a lot through after the earthquake. We spent months trying to find food and water. So it's good to have at least some limited supplies, even like a week or two is good for you. Mm. Standing's difficult. Yeah. Okay. The pain levels have increased so much in 2 weeks. It's got to be something I really hope you get rid. Hope you come around this very soon, because it's going to be obviously it's going to make it very difficult for you to find a place to live. But yeah, it's got to be something the doctor can do, or to help, maybe. I hope. Anyway, canned sardines were my scamdemic food. Yeah, yeah, it's another good idea too. Like canned sardines, or anything that you can get that has a long shelf life, right? So like mostly obviously going to be tin food, Um, but try and get the better sauce. Like don't get those mixed stew sort of things. Like those things there's not actually any real meat in. So I've got like tin tuna, tin salmon, and tin chicken. So I've got a heap of that stuff at the moment. Enough for enough for about a month or so anyway. So yeah. And then of course, having some hunting equipment would be helpful as well, depending on where you are. Like if you're in the city, it's going to be very difficult. But even like a fishing rod, go fishing or something, try and get some fish, catch some fish is a good way to do it as well. Eggs have been cheaper. Yeah, that's good. You good. It's good you have chickens. I'm not in the position to have chickens. Yeah, I'm very lucky that way. I have chickens, and I can get eggs, and I'm surrounded by animals as well. I've got wild ducks here every day, and wild kangaroos as well. So, if anything does happen, I can eat. I had an ultrasound done last week at the hospital and cried all through it. Yeah, you told me that the day actually, but yeah, must have been extremely sensitive. You must be very sensitive at the moment for the ultrasound. Um, I remember some of them it can be like that. Like I've when I was going through all the stuff I was going through as well. Just any kind of pressure on me at all, especially on my back and on my skin at times. Any kind of pressure it felt incredibly painful. Yeah, doctors have been useless for the most part. Yeah, that's doctors for you, isn't it? The cute little possum is still cute, and he's still fluffy and soft, and he's dry. He's doing all right. He he, he's been sort of cooped up in the potting shed while it was raining so heavy. But I've been giving him some food, and he's doing all right. If I didn't have God, I don't know if I could cope. Yeah, I mean, having faith is a very big part of keeping you going. And I think knowing that there is the situation can get better, and it will get better. Like you've seen it yourself. Like you said before, like you're healthier than you were before the last move. So you will get some improvements, and that's something to look forward to. So just remember, it will get better. you know your church believes in healing. That's good. you I think the Bible does mention something like some things. I can't remember where it says it, but I think it does say like that we have the ability to heal. So a million times better. Yeah. So that's great. Let me just change this camera. There we go. There we go. Okay. Battery ran out. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Paddy Possum. He's in the potting shed. Yes. Yeah, he quite likes the potting shed. Nice and dry. Problem is that there's a couple of rats in there too. I need to get rid of. Had a lot of rats for this year, actually. Yeah, I've had to change. Yeah, and I mean, we all do, Annabelle. We have to change. Sometimes it's just it's these things that sort of wake us up and make us change. And people, unfortunately, we seem to have to go through these difficult times to make us come to that conclusion that we need to change. So and you're getting muscle from eating meat. Yes, very good. Yeah, of course, because I mean this is our building blocks. All the building blocks for our body are in the meat and what we eat. When you're on the proper human diet. So, I mean, our bodies regenerate. From one day to the next, from every hour, we are constantly regenerating. But you need to give it the basic materials to do that. you know. And unfortunately, if we think about what we've been doing on a lifestyle or a life, whole life living on junk food and the wrong diets completely, it's no wonder that our bodies deteriorate so quickly, you know. I don't think we're meant to do that. I don't think we're meant to deteriorate so fast and um, so painfully either. I don't think it's meant to be like that, you know. So, okay. So unless we've been here for a bit over 2 hours, so unless you guys have questions or something you want to talk about, I will leave it there tonight. I thank you all for joining me, of course, and I hope you all are managing and getting on with things. And night, Brad. Thanks for joining us, mate. Yeah, thank you for watching my little tribute to the 311 event, which was today. You know, every March 11th, it's a it's a big reminder for me to be grateful as well, and grateful for what I have, grateful for being alive, and sort of remember the friends and family and so on, and some of the experiences that we had through that year. It's it's funny, isn't it? I've got these milestones each year. I've got like 3 milestones. January, twice in 2 years I was diagnosed, and then of course March, I have March 11, and then March is also my birthday. So it's just these are reminders for me, to appreciate what you have, appreciate your health, appreciate your life, appreciate the people that you have around you, the people you have in your life, and to appreciate the experiences and making it through, So yeah. Lamb is cooked, Annabelle. Well, enjoy your dinner. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've changed 1st of February. Yeah. Haven't looked back. That's awesome. Yeah, proud of you, Lainey. You're doing great. You're doing a great job. Very welcome. See you Saturday. Yep, for sure. Have a great evening or day. Yeah. Thanks, Nathan. Really appreciate it. All right, everyone. Take care, and stay strong. And, I hope you all appreciate that you have, you've all come so far, you've all done great work, and you're getting better, like just appreciate the experience and appreciate the journey. All right. So take care, everyone. I hope you all have a great day or night wherever you are, and we'll talk again soon.